What's good, Lit Tribe? It's your boy Fry Rice, straight out of your childhood DVD collection, armed with nothing but a remote in one hand and a fully loaded snack tray in the other. Today we're diving head first into a movie that feels like the ultimate fever dream, cooked up on a rainy Saturday morning while hopped up on fruit roll-ups and juice boxes. The Pagemaster. This movie, man, is like someone asked, what if a scaredy cat kid went on a magical acid trip through classic literature and met animated books voiced by legendary actors? And Hollywood said, say less. So buckle up, fam, because we're about to step into a dimension where Christopher Lloyd is a mystical librarian, books are alive and talk back, Macaulay Culkin finds courage in the most unexpected places. This ain't your average trip to the library, unless your local branch comes with dragons, pirates, a literal storm of fear. And before we fully crack open the cover of this one, you already know the drill. Smash that like button like it owes you money. Subscribe so you never miss another trip down memory lane with your favorite stoner movie nerd, and hey, drop a comment with your favorite underrated 90s animated movie. Maybe it's this one, maybe it's Fern Gully, maybe it's Cats Don't Dance. We don't judge here, we celebrate. Plus, hit that notification bell like you're ringing it for the last lap of Mario Kart. You don't want to miss the retro rocket fuel we got lined up next. Alright, tribe, crack open your copy, fire up your imagination, and get ready to light up the library because this is The Pagemaster, Fry Rice style. Let's turn that page. So let's talk about our main character, Richard Tyler, played by the king of the early 90s himself, Mr. Macaulay Culkin. This kid was coming off that Home Alone heat. So of course, they tossed him into the Pagemaster to do what he does best, be a vulnerable kid on a wild adventure. But here's the twist. Richard ain't your average 90s protagonist. He's not brave, he's not cocky, he's a full-blown, safety-obsessed germaphobe.
No, I'm not!
Who sees danger in everything. We're talking charts, statistics, bike helmets, so thick they look military grade. This dude makes Sheldon Cooper look like Indiana Jones.
The kid's afraid of tuna fish sandwiches.
Now visually, the film starts out live action, and it's got that gloomy, dreary overcast that screams early 90s kid movie where someone's about to learn a life lesson. His parents, especially his dad, played by Ed Begley Jr., and trying to get him to just ride his dang bike.
Down to Gutman's hardware store, buy a pound of these.
But Richard's got trauma, or maybe just a hyperactive imagination. Either way, my man's seeing potential death in everything. Then, bam! Out of nowhere, he ends up caught in a freak thunderstorm and takes shelter in a creepy old library. And let me tell you, the moment Christopher Lloyd appears as Mr. Dewey,
welcome to the library, young man.
You already know something magical is about to pop off. He's giving straight up Doc Brown energy, but this time with a sprinkle of Dumbledore and a dash of Willy Wonka. And then it happens. The transition. One moment, Richard's walking through this eerie gothic library, and the next, he slips, cracks his head, and boom! Psychedelic animation sequence. Ink literally pours over the floor like something out of a Fantasia fever dream.
I'm a cartoon!
That's when the Pagemaster really starts doing its thing. From here on out, we're not just watching a movie, we're in it, man. The library morphs into a magical realm broken up into 3 major sections: horror, adventure, and fantasy, all represented by, you guessed it, talking books. And not just any books, we're talking about voice talents from Whoopi Goldberg, Patrick Stewart, and Frank Welker. So, the structure's set. Richard's quest is clear. He's got to make it through all three literary genres to reach the exit, and hopefully find some courage along the way. But hold up. Before we continue, drop your answer in the poll right now. Which section would you want to get stuck in? Horror with haunted castles and creepy monsters? Adventure with sword fights and pirates? Or fantasy with dragons and enchanted forest? Let's see where the tribe stands. Let's talk squad goals, y'all, because no epic quest is complete without some ride or die homies, and the Pagemaster delivers that in the most bookish way possible. Enter adventure, horror, and fantasy. Not just genres, but full-blown characters with unique personalities, voices, and vibes that carry Richard through his journey. First up, we've got Adventure.
The land of adventure!
Voiced by the one and only Patrick Stewart. And let me tell you, if your book came to life and had the swagger of a swashbuckling pirate captain with Shakespearean flair, that's this guy.
Where's he be? Where's he be?
He's all about treasure maps, bold moves, and swinging into danger like it's Tuesday brunch. He's got this booming voice that just makes everything sound 10 times more epic. Then there's horror.
Glad. The horror section.
Played hilariously by Frank Welker. He's this little Igor meets Quasimodo type of book.
I'm sorry.
All stitched up, shaking in his spine, but trying his best to be brave. Think of him like the horror genre's awkward but lovable cousin. He's scared of everything, but he sticks by Richard like a true bro. Honestly, he's probably the most emotionally relatable character, if you've ever been the scaredy cat in your group. And finally, fantasy. Now this is where it gets magical, baby. Voiced by Whoopi Goldberg. Fantasy is fierce, fly, and full of sass.
A book, honey, I can read.
She's got that motherly wisdom meets Disney fairy godmother energy. She believes in dreams, in possibility, and in herself. Her chemistry with adventure kinda spicy, not gonna lie. I ship it. Each of these characters represents more than just their genre. They're extensions of Richard's own personality. Adventure is the bravery he doesn't think he has. Horror is the fear he needs to face. And fantasy, that's the imagination, baby. The spark that lights the whole fire. Together, they become this unlikely but lovable crew that guides him through the weirdest literary obstacle course of all time. If you could bring one genre to life as a sidekick, who you rolling with? Leave in the comments below and make it spicy. Bonus points if you give them a voice actor. And hey, if you're feeling this breakdown so far, pause for a second, hit that like button, and maybe even share this episode with someone who needs a reminder that books can be wild when they come to life. Now, let's get into the meat of the madness. The wild journey through the genres. This is where the Pagemaster turns up the volume on the imagination dial and throws every literary trope at Richard like it's a final boss gauntlet. First up, horror. And let me tell you, this section is low-key terrifying for a kid's movie. We're talking haunted castles, monstrous transformations, and one gnarly scene where Dr. Jekyll straight up morphs into Mr. Hyde. The animation goes hard here. Shadows stretch, lightning flashes, and the tension feels real. Horror's out here trying to be brave. Richard's just trying to survive, and as a kid, this was the part you either fast forwarded or watched with a blanket shield. But surviving horror isn't just escaping the monsters. It's about confronting fear. Richard starts realizing that maybe, just maybe, running from everything isn't the move, and you feel that shift. It's subtle and powerful. Then we jump into an adventure, and you already know it's on. We've got High Seas, a terrifying pirate voiced by Jim Cummings.
I grin at thee, thou grinning whale!
Who somehow makes even pirates sound iconic. Sword fights, treasure maps, and stormy battles. Richard is literally forced to walk the plank. And this is the moment where you really start to see that courage kick in. He's still scared, but he's doing the thing anyway. Classic hero growth. Now buckle up. We hit fantasy last, and it's a visual feast. Picture glowing forests, mythological beasts, and a freaking dragon that looks like it was summoned from an Iron Maiden album cover. Richard has to outwit the beast and rely on his friends more than ever. Fantasy brings the heart to the journey, and it's where hope lives. And this is where the Pagemaster drops the real message. Courage isn't about not being afraid, it's about acting in spite of it. By the time Richard reaches the exit, he's changed. The moment he wakes up back in the real world library, that fear-ridden kid is gone. He rides his bike home, head high, wind in his hair, a total 180. This entire second act is like a nostalgic roller coaster. Through every genre you loved growing up, and every challenge, every encounter, it all adds another layer to Richard's transformation. Question for you, tribe. What moment hit the hardest? Dr. Jekyll's transformation? The dragon face-off? Let us know in the comments. We're nerding out together. And if you've ever faced something scary and came out stronger, drop a lit up in the chat. Let's celebrate growth together. Alright, we're almost there. Coming up next, we hit the litometer and see just how this film stacks up. Alright, tribe. Now that we've been through it all, the thunderstorm, the library, the talking books, the horror, the pirates, the dragon, and the spark of imagination, it's time for the moment of truth. Let's bust out the litometer! On a scale from 1 to 5, 1 is big L, like nah fam, we ain't watching that again. 2 is mild, kind of forgettable, maybe background noise. 3 is solid lit. We see the nostalgia and respect the ride. 4 is big lit, a certified throwback that still hits. And 5, that's the biggest of LYTs. A movie so good it deserves a spot on the Mount Rushmore of retro cinema. So where does the Pagemaster land? Drumroll please! I'm giving the Pagemaster a solid big lit. That's a 4 on the lit-o-meter. Here's why. The animation is wild, the voice cast is stacked, and the message still hits today. Find your courage, use your imagination, and don't be afraid to turn the page. Sure, the pacing's a little fast, and some scenes are nightmare fuel for a PG rating, but yo, this movie sticks. It's weird in the best way, like reading a graphic novel while tripping on pop rocks. So if you haven't seen it in a while, give it another watch. And if you've never seen it, what are you even doing? Grab some popcorn, find a cozy blanket, and take that trip. But before you go, you already know what time it is. Smash that like button, hit subscribe so you don't miss more fire episodes just like this. Answer the poll and tell us what genre you want to live in. And drop a comment. What's your little meter score for the Pagemaster? This is Frara, your certified book warrior and fearless genre jumper, saying, live your time, love your flicks, and always keep it lit. Catch you next chapter. Stay lit, guys.